It's the 18. I think today is the 18. Good time. As I said, I'm doing these streams every day. No Christmas, no nothing. It's just gonna be, I've made this commitment when I said, okay, I'm gonna launch proper, although obviously did not have to. Could have just stayed comfy in the bear, but I said, hey, fuck it. We have to make the most of this time, and if what it takes to set the tone, because it actually sets the tone for the company, for the people working with me. It just sets the tone on like, hey, 2026 is going to be a big push. I've been very successful in some other aspects, and I'm like, I want to do it again, and it's a commitment. So I'm happy to, and I'm actually very happy, much happier in the weekends, because it's as the CEO of Exborg, I do have duties, responsibilities, legal, finance, and just like some HR stuff and like some actually boring stuff that I personally don't like the most, as I want to build cool things. I like discussing about markets, and that's why I like to do this stuff on stream. All right, so we will do a recap of the week actually. I think it's good to look at our Discord. And I'm sure if you look back at this in like a few months, it's gonna be looking a whole lot different. But we are going to look at. Actually, we'll take you through the app at some point. But we've released the docs, so pitch deck, docs, rules, the material to get you started. And that was on the 20th, so 8 days ago. We've released our blog, our blog, and we've also released our tools. So in the blog section, we have one that's more of a news type stuff on like, for example, we've released that what's a prop firm and how is proper different. We have trading thesis and we have education. On, through 2026, I want to, we're not going to discuss about my credentials, but I think I'm legitimate to be, I guess, a good representative of markets. I've done the work in the last really 3-4 years in the crypto market specifically to be legitimate and tell you what I think is good piece to read. And we're doing this for free. Few things will change, but for example, we've built that tool that personally helps me, especially in these conditions. And it's not very sophisticated, to be honest. You're basically looking at some indicator reversal plus some stuff related to fundings to tell you whether it's safe to long or not, and then accordingly give you a setup. So the cool thing is, in crypto markets are very reflective. Like when something is down 20%, it's actually not a good buy because the likelihood of it going further down is much higher because of leverage, etc. So here it tells you about what the OI is doing. It tells you about the CVD, so whether you really have something breaking. For example, if you had this tool on the had access to this tool on the 5th or 6th of March when we had BTC dropping, you could have seen the large BTC well, decline in spot, and I would have told you, hey, stay away from this. You're catching a falling knife. And so it's a tool I personally use. Instead of going through Velo, we've got data plugged in here, and it's just a very quick check. Anyway, we've released some other tools. I'm not going to go through all of that. You can join our Discord to check this out. We've made our first AMA. Recordings can be found here in community. We are dropping this is, I guess this is a page where if you're a community member, you can look at the streams, you can look at the past AMAs. You need to drop down here. We'll change that. I think UX is bad. Anyway. So yeah, some more tools. Rules, very important. If you haven't checked the rules, please do. Especially if you've registered your interest. It's important to understand what you're getting yourself into. As I've said, we have a changelog on rules, which is very important for the traders. And we'll change the rules. Some will be super frustrated, but we'll do it we'll do it transparently in a way that I'm trying to build this in a way that's fair, and that's also, what's fair to the traders should be fair to us as well. Otherwise, our business isn't going to be in business anymore. So you can give your feedback on our Discord regarding this, or even if you want to have a one-on-one chat. Happy to chat. We've released the YM short hype. It's this sort of multi-week thesis, which I think I'm gonna write I don't have these thoughts every day, obviously, and I don't hold high conviction shorts all long for more than a few weeks. A quarter at best. I would say this trade is typically a quarter, because then, just markets change all the time, and a thesis can be invalidated in a heartbeat. But when I feel like I have a view that's likely correct over a quarter time frame, and that little external factors can impact this, then I'm gonna publish it. And OG badge as well, if you guys haven't claimed it. By the time you see it, it's probably, it's today just 130 out of 1,000. You have some criteria though. You have to link a hypercore address, or to be part of our ecosystem. So realistically, not everyone can get it. But if you're seeing it, I trust you, it's going to be worth it. It's going to be worth it. That's what we've done on the product side. We haven't vibe coded this week. Honestly, it was really locked in some other aspects of growth, and so it's about time we talk about growth and what how the numbers look like today. Is service on our Discord. So actually could let me actually update this as I do it. So I have an admin panel where I can change all of that. So we'll do it just now. But just mainly we said, wait, how much? 388? Yeah. 388 today. And then I think we're also tracking for X followers. So I'm just going to check the proper account. So we had a good push, I think mainly driven by the seed rounds that we're doing with the community, or not. I mean, it's not, depends on the interest. I would love to do it with the community, but if not, then we just go private. And I can tell you we have a lot more interest than size available. And that's definitely not a solicitation to invest. I think the wide majority of people should not invest. All right, so we got the new data. So I'm not sure. All right, so last week we were at, yeah, last week was 22nd, 250K of interest. Today we at 800, so that was a big step forward, which is cool to see. Discord members as well, we had 275 or 388, so I think that's good growth. X, we've gained about 200 people. Twitch, we're not pushing for Twitch subscribers. How many subscribers do I have at the moment? And don't worry, we'll talk about the markets, we'll talk about the products just in a few. I want the stream to last about half an hour. We actually have 47 followers, that's cool. We have 41 followers. Newsletter subscribers, not pushing it actively. Like the call to action is not there. But it's what I think is good growth. So I'm happy with it. I think that turned out to be going quite well. In what's exciting, we have product-wise, we can actually use the product. You can actually go check it out. We're doing a big UI push next week. So today, this is exactly how the app does not exactly look like this. Like you can see, it's not the highest fidelity, but we are onboarding one of our UI engineer, front-end engineer to help out, making sure just things are looking 100% as they should. And we've made a few changes to the UI, mainly on the trading terminal. We've added some stats like the unified account summary. Just made sure it's on par with Hyperliquid. But there's one thing about Perps UI is you want to stay as simple as possible, and you don't want many much disruption. It should really be simple. So the only thing that we add here is the silver challenge, or like any challenge. When you have the risk parameters, you can go and check the challenge rules there, and how it looks for you. You can check your stats, but basically we're keeping it simple. Few things that we're adding on the terminal is the economic calendar and news with a pretty quick access. So here, if you click on the news, I'm still not sure. I don't think this is the right place to put it. But we have the current news that pertains to crypto. We're actually building our custom indexer, taking from tree of alpha, tree of news or tree of alpha, I'm not sure. Plus some TradFi content, and then economic calendar if you want a news trade. Plus we have those pop-ups, and like economic calendar looks like this. And I'm still not sure whether that's where you want to have it, or like we will probably have a tab where you can custom your trading terminal over time. And yeah, a few things that have been added. So I'm just checking everything. A few things like landing page. We actually had no landing page. So today when you land on the beta environment, you'll see it's just not good. And yeah, big front-end push to tomorrow and next week. And today you can actually access the app. You can trade through the app, so you can see The UI, a lot to change, a ton to change actually, and that's what I refer to in the high fidelity is we still got, we've nailed the functionalities, sure, but we have to just make sure UI is mint. So the trades do work. I mean, you see here I just filled the order, and I have a current position that's long BTC. I mean, I've just opened the position now. It factors into account the fees, and I guess you can see it's just pretty simple, but you can see there's still a big discrepancy between the hyperliquid UI and this. So we'll solve that over time, and next week you'll see the big push. So next week you can expect a wider community QA, and it's gonna be good. So next week, trading competition and stuff, that's gonna start. I'm very happy with the backend implementation. That's obviously not vibe coded, but I'm very happy with the way things are going at the moment. All right, so now let's discuss a bit about markets. I don't like to discuss about markets, but on the recap of the week, we have the 100K to million challenge, which is streamed on. At some point, people will say, "Hey, I'm a LARP," or like, "Thanks, it's like too good to be true," or whatever. So you can go check out the HyperDash address in real time. I haven't replicated the trades one-to-one, because I migrate over time on Bybit, but you can see here the all-time P&L for that address. Like I'm not so much of a LARP. And overall, just every trade is logged there that we took. And if anything, like in all streams, if we ever have a trade open, we discuss about that trade as well. So current position is short. Really, just like yesterday's stream, we did mention that it's a range bound environment, and so we are treating this area as none other than a range. I think the setup was exactly like this. And today we are at 65K on BTC. So again, like just drawing this range, but it's very basic. And I usually don't hold positions on weekends, except if it's a short, because you have very little instances of weekends where you had a short squeeze, but a ton of instances where it was long flushed because of how illiquid the market is, and especially in the downtrend, I think holding longs during weekends, and if anything, even like through after Friday close or Monday, really doesn't make so much sense to me. And so I'm happy to keep those longs open. So the entries we have on the challenge is pretty much those. So hype, for example, we have this, I think hype can actually find at least some more downside if we were to have probably looking at 5%, potentially more, but that would be I would say a different trade. And then we have ETH on the challenge as well. ETH, the entry is very good, and so to me, I think because you have so much headline risk at the moment, so you have Iran, Um, you have the equity market isn't doing well. You can tell the VIX went up quite a bit. The VIX is a good way in which you can capture actual bottoms in the market. So here that was the carry trade, here that was the tariff flows. So anytime you have a big spike in VIX, it's a good way to consider longs and close shorts at least. But yeah, the S&P closed in the red, and you have, I think everyone's looking at this big pattern. Whether that's accumulation, distribution, I have no clue. But I think everyone's looking at it and just maybe think downside is coming. Not certain. And what I do know for sure though is that there is no good big long entries on BTC except if it's just technical until we've tested some downside there on the S&P or just major equities. To me, it looks like this, and I don't trade equities, so I don't have any edge, to be really frank. So I'm not really relevant in equities. I don't trade that stuff. But I would say for me to be further confident in a BTC bottom, and I think for the market to really react positively, you need some drawdown. Because everyone's aware that you have some contagion if you have, I don't know, big pods that blow up in equities. They will get rid of their crypto book, especially on weekends when it's the only thing that's liquid, in case of margin call, and so BTC is related to equities, 100%, definitely to the downside. So for me to consider long, and if we talk about the next setup, I would say we have this Iran news, so I'd likely be out of shorts. Let's say we have the Iran attack this weekend, and I don't wish, obviously we talk about markets, but these are very sad events. We actually have some folks from Iran in that work with us, and it's just really sad course of event. Market-wise, I just treat this as an event that moves markets. But if the market's not able to dump on a big attack from the US, so let's say people freak out on weekends and Monday open, VIX spikes, so BTC drops, and then you have a reintegration. Here you have a good long setup to then target the range highs, because that means we're trying to guess the willingness to sell and willingness to buy, and it would look pretty good. So that would be a good long setup. It would be tough to catch a falling knife unless it's on a big volume spike. So if you have a lot of people that pile into shorts, and what you don't want is people being levered long into something that's knife catching. So I would love to take a long there if we have reclaim of the range. The other long I could take is if we stay, and I've covered that, but if we stay a long time above 70, depending on what the open interest is doing and what levered traders are doing, I think there is a room for further upside to 80K, 82K on a big squeeze. But structurally, I think that would be a bear market rally, and I wouldn't be optimistic about further continuation. And I do think the best way to express a view at the moment is this piece. If I had to just put one trade in, is wait, where is this? is this hype short against BTC. Because my best read of the market is that volatility is going to drop and open interest is going to drop, and this is exactly what you see on I think, is it this one? Where I think it's this one. You see OI is dropping on Hyperliquid, which is really tells you about the state of the market. Like, this is to me clear like capitulation, but it's only time that will fix things, and that's why like I've been saying for a long time, like the big long trade where we'll likely do some real damage on the 100K to a million challenge is when you have renewed interest. Crypto psychology is we are in that phase where this one maybe we're in that phase where we've seen the A capitulation, and you can see like, obviously this means little, but you can see that once you're pushing after denial and capitulation, it usually takes time. You can't, like, it's like time will just fix things, and a lot of people say like market's going to look better once the morale improves, and I think this is true. Is the people need to be looking a bit more optimistic, and so I think typically we can have a bear market rally, but then I think summer, will we push anything during the summer? I'm not very confident. But then the next big long is going to be on this belief rally, and then optimism. And I think because a lot of people now are calling for the bottom to be around October, I think you'll be seeing a lot of optimism that okay, we went through the worst, and now like things can actually go up. And I think this optimism is where we'll be trending again, and this is likely going to coincide with the midterms. So typically midterms is going to be a time of uncertainty on the market. People won't know what to make of it, and once the uncertainty is cleared up, then we likely trend. And I think we look for an uptrend. So because I have this view, we've done very, very well on the challenge so far, but I'm not really in a rush, because I know where most of the money will be made is during this period. Now, crypto works in a way that you basically have 2 or 3 months to really lock in, and then you should step away. You'll miss a ton of trades, but then come back once there is fear in the market. For example, in March 2024, you had we can look at it now. In March 2024, so that big spike there, you had what, from Jan to March, you had 2 months of expansion. There 2 months, and then you basically, when I was outright bearish there on my X, the issue is to then wait for a long time before getting back in. Then same there, like you have to be patient, and then wait, basically just, and then same there on like, and I was very bearish there on my X. I'm not gonna link. I could actually link some. Not gonna do this, but you can go on my X and see like what. Like I was bearish there, and then likely the same is going to happen, where because now we need more time, I think you'll likely just see some weird price action there, and then you will trend again at some point, and this is where the bulk there of the money will be made. And then once you're here, I mean, I tell you, once we're here in a couple of months, I'd be the first to be flat, and then wait. And then it's the boring stuff where you have to wait for, like, you have to wait or just look, like, your mindset should change to, okay, we only short, or we look for short setups until we hit some cool max pain levels, which is usually, you know, what I look for, and we'll discuss about this in a different session, but what I look for is some volume capitulation before, volume spikes, which tells me it's capitulation to get back in. So if we look at some, yeah, no, it's okay. For example, here, I mean, on BTC, you always should look at BTC when looking at this, but if we take Velo here for, check a bit further the data. You want to get back in once you have some big volume spikes, typically what we had on the 6th of Feb. That was a good indicator. All right. So that's where you see the big bottoms. It's typically on large volume spikes. So if I look at the daily, there, like anytime you have a big spike there and there, it's basically high time frame when you have like when you have a likely high time frame bottom on a range. So what you can do is you know, trace this stuff, and next time we are, like, for example, if I want to take a big long, I would look at it and think, okay, are we, you know, if we push above, then I will look for, you know, that will tell me I've seen enough capitulation, and we should, you know, probably just go up. And at least it worked on a few of these instances. And you see some spikes here. I mean, this was we would look at better filters, because it's only Binance futures, so we would need to look at spot, etc. But anyway, enough of me talking about market. I actually have to go back to work. But I see you back tomorrow. I think tomorrow is going to be maybe less about markets, depending on what we get. But I don't think positioning is going to change so much. So thanks for tuning in, and I see you back tomorrow.